October 2015, CIA Headquarters, Langley, Virginia. John Brennan receives a call from an unknown number who appears to be a child who tells John that he has hacked all of the CIA's systems. This call would have been considered a prank call if it had been made to an ordinary person, but John Brennan was the director of the world's most powerful intelligence agency, the CIA, and knowing his personal mobile number was a big deal. This is the story of two children who hacked the entire system of the CIA and disturbed the superpower United States. Who were those children? Why and how did they manage to accomplish this task? A very warm welcome from me to all the friends who come to my channel. Did you know? Before starting the video, I request all my newcomer friends to subscribe my channel and also press the bell button so that you will be notified of every new video. Thanks. When the caller is asked for his demand, he said that the US should stop its attacks in the Middle East, especially Palestine, and let the world be at peace. Before his call, the CIA knew that their system had been hacked. You will get an idea of what this hacking was doing to the United States by going further in the video. As soon as the call was dropped, the entire US government and CIA went into action because a kid had taken over the CIA's system, and it was quite an embarrassment for CIA. Let us tell you here that CIA agents only give up if their identity is revealed. Even the CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia has a branch of Starbucks that serves coffee to the officers without any logo or any agent's name written on it. The reason for this is that the cup cannot be traced to the agent. Now imagine how big deal it would be for the CIA to be so careful about the little things. When the investigation began, it was found that the call was made by a 15-year-old boy from Leicestershire, England, who called himself Cracker and who had created a hacking community called Cracker with Attitude. To find out how and why he hacked the CIA's systems, we need to go back a little further to 2008, where the story begins. In 2008, there was another boy in the state of Virginia in the United States known as Default who was very fond of video games. He used to change Counter-Strike according to himself, and by changing its rules and regulations, he used to win very easily by cheating. He started running things from his own account, and all this he learned from internet. A boy named Default got this inspiration from a hacker group called Anonymous that became quite popular in 2008. Anonymous group used to make headlines of news. This group used to hack big websites and write their own message on them to raise their voice. Seeing all this, Default was quite impressed with Anonymous, and then he also started to step into the world of hacking. Default slowly started hacking small websites, but he wanted to do something big. He also needed a hacking group, so Default joined a hacking group called AnonSec. This group had hacked many websites before, but this hacking was mostly done for political purposes. The AnonSec group used botnet, that is, they created and spread viruses on the internet, and any computer that the virus entered came under AnonSec's control. All the computers that have a virus are called bot, and this whole network of computers is called botnet. Being a member of AnonSec, Default also had access to this botnet and noticed that the botnet contained a computer belonging to a medical college in Canada. Default did some work on that computer and finally achieved financial record of the college. He noticed that the school was still owed more than 9 million from the students, and that all these records had now gone into Default, which he deleted from the college's computer. The first hacking of Default was successful, causing the entire system of the medical college to collapse. He did this first hacking out of mischief, but he did the next hacking out of anger. In 2014, Denmark's government passed a shameful law that allowed sexual abuse of animals, which shocked animal rights activists around the world. Default also had a dog that he loved so much that Default got angry and hacked Denmark's official website and wrote in big letters, "Did you know your government allows animal abuse?" Not only that, Default used botnet to attack all the websites that were created in favor of this law and shut them all down. Due to the hacking of the official website of Denmark, this news spread all over the world, and this step of Denmark started to be criticized all over the world. Finally, the government of Denmark could not bear this pressure, and the next year they had to withdraw this law. Default had succeeded in its goal the first time, but people started giving credit to the AnonSec group because it was the hacking group that made headlines at the time. Default didn't like that he did such a big feat, but someone else is taking his credit. He didn't give up and continued his work. Like other hackers, Default did not reveal his identity. He knew that if he was ever traced due to hacking, the consequences could be quite dire. He did not normally use his home Wi-Fi. Instead, he had purchased a satellite connection which he had installed far away from his home and used the internet from there to his home through a private network. His computer was also quite secure, even though it took 30 minutes for his computer to turn on due to this security, but for the sake of his privacy he had no problem waiting that long. So far you know about two characters in this story. One is Cracker, who lives in England, and the other is Default, who lives in USA. They didn't know each other before 2013, but an incident happened that made them become one. Edward Joseph Snowden, who was a computer intelligence consultant at the National Security Agency, while working on an American government project, he came to know that the CIA secretly keeps the data and information of every internet user and then uses it for its own purposes without the user knowing about it. Edward wanted to uncover the secret of the CIA, but on the other hand, he was afraid that this work could not be done while living in America. Either he would be killed or he would be sent to jail for the crime of leaking secret information. Edward took leave and went to Hong Kong, where he and the generalist exposed America's secret to the world. As soon as this news was leaked, there was an outcry all over the world. People were angry that their data was being used without their permission and they were being monitored all the time. This is how Default and Cracker interacted with each other, and both decided to teach the US government and the CIA a lesson. They wanted the CIA to realize how it feels when people's personal information is being leaked. Default and Cracker had the same goal. Default wanted to take revenge from the US for destroying its people's privacy, and Cracker wanted to take revenge for the attacks on Gaza. Both were enemies of the US government. First, he publicized the phone number of James Clapper, director of the American National Intelligence Agency, and anyone could have found his phone number on Google search. Now they wanted to hack another high-profile man and took on the mission of hacking CIA Director John Brennan. Cracker started to search about John on the internet and came up with the number belonged to John Brennan. He saw that the number belonged to Verizon, which is an American mobile operator company. He called Verizon's internal tech team as his employee and said he was contacting them to resolve a customer's problem because he was having a technical issue with his system. The Verizon team asked for the PIN code to confirm his identity, which he had already hacked. Then the team shared John Brennan's personal information with Cracker. Cracker now had John Brennan's account number, backup mobile number, address and the last 4 digits of his bank card. Now the next step was to hack John Brennan email. He discovered that Brennan uses AOL company email in addition to Gmail or Yahoo. He called the AOL support team and said that I have forgotten my password and it needs to be reset. The AOL support member asked for the last 4 digits of the bank card to confirm, which Cracker already had. Now Cracker got access of Brennan's email address. Cracker now had the CIA director's personal email account. He opened John Brennan's private email, which contained all the important and top secret documents, data on other CIA officers including their social security numbers and instructions from the government. Brennan also found out that his email account had been hacked and he immediately closed his account, but it was too late because Cracker had downloaded all the data. Cracker started making public all the official documents one by one, causing a chaos across the US. The CIA was being disrespected all over the world. Now it had become compulsory for them to catch the hacker. They wanted to get hold of him as soon as possible, but they could not get any clue. A few days after calling John Brennan, Cracker shared the personal information of 9,000 Department of Justice and 20,000 FBI agents on social media. After doing all this, Cracker was living his life comfortably. He thought that it might be impossible to catch him, but on the other hand, Default, who was a resident of USA, was now worried. He was afraid that if he got caught, he would be in great trouble. They might never have been caught if it hadn't been for this mistake by Default. He drunkenly confides in his friend that he was behind the CIA hack, only to have the mistake sink both Default and Cracker. A few days later, the FBI raided Default's room and took him away. During the interrogation, Cracker's name also came up, who will be arrested with the help of the British police. Cracker's real name is Kane Gamble, while Default's real name is Justin Gray Liverman. Because of his youth, Cracker was sentenced to 2 years in prison, while Default, not directly involved, carries a 5-year sentence. Both are free from jail today and are advancing their careers in cybersecurity. What do you think? Both did right or wrong? Let me know in the comments. I hope you like this video of my channel. Did you know, and will share it too. Thank you for your loving and valued comments and likes. See you in the next wonderful video. Thanks for watching the video. Take good care of yourself. Goodbye.